Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast where, yes, we can confirm that Lana just went through another table just now. It's Lost to the Midcard. Welcome. We are here with our NXT Takeover 31 reaction show. We're going to break down that great show that happened this past Sunday. Set the stage for NXT here as today, as you listen to the podcast. Also talk Raw and SmackDown. We have a leader for Retribution now. We'll discuss that. We'll talk about AEW and a whole lot more. But first, thank you to SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way, typically every Wednesday. And you can also get us on the YouTube where you see the beautiful video version of this podcast where I got the legend Eddie Van Halen behind me. Rest in peace. The links to all that are on our Facebook page, facebook.com/LostToTheMidcard, as well as our Twitter at LITMC Podcast, where we also share a lot of the great tweets from the wrestling world. And if you'd like to, if you don't normally listen to us or watch us on YouTube, head over there, give us a follow. We're trying to get our own personal URL to make it youtube.com/LostToTheMidcard, but we need to have your support and give us a like on that page, please. Maybe you like it, enjoy watching us instead of just listening to us on the podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. As always, my co-host, he is on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
Stressing out, JB.
Gee, why is that?
I'm stressing out because LeBron's playing like a jobber. Anthony Davis is not freaking taking over the game like he's supposed to. Stressed out because the fucking referees are so far up Miami Heat's ass. Just didn't need this tonight, man. Didn't need this tonight. Miami Heat suck. Referees suck. They all suck. You should be the last person in the world cheering for the Heat tonight.
I never
after what they did to your Celtics.
I've never cheered for the Heat ever since Ray Allen his bitch ass left.
Say there you go.
Never have.
Yeah, you should be pulling for the Lakers to come out in the third quarter and just bitch slap Miami.
I just want both teams to lose.
Well, dude, that's not very nice. You got your co-host right here, diehard Lakers fan. I need this because 2020 has sucked the ass, and it would be really nice if I could at least say in one of the worst years of this planet's history, at least my basketball team won the NBA championship.
Yeah, it's against my religion to root for the Lakers. So
then root for your co-host. Root for your co-host happiness. That's what I need right now. Oh.
NXT Takeover 31.
I want before we get into NXT, I want to apologize to all the listeners tonight because literally we are recording right now at halftime of Game 4, and there's no way that my eyes will not continually shift to the television in the second half of this game. So if I am off my game tonight, or if I make random comments that make absolutely no fucking sense whatsoever,
well, that won't be any different than normal, but.
Thanks, JB. I'd like to think when I make insane comments on here, at least they're, at least they make sense, and at least they're, part of the ongoing conversation. So
NXT Takeover.
Win,
what?
I need this win.
Yeah. What is it at halftime? What is it?
They're up by 2.
2.
49-47.
NXT Takeover 31 happened this Sunday. What do you think? What did you think of the Capitol Wrestling Center, Matt?
On the one Matrix movie when Neo walked into that room and he was surrounded by like a million television monitors.
Yeah.
That's the Capitol Wrestling Center.
Yeah, it's weird that's
exactly what it reminded me of.
It's
While I like the LED layout in the Thunderdome, but the way that it's walled out in the newly named Performance Center, I don't know, it looks pretty weird to me.
Yeah. It ain't bad.
It's not bad. It's just it looks weird.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how they gutted the whole Performance Center. So now, like, the whole purpose of it was to train your up and coming wrestlers, and now it seems like that's kind of pushed to the side.
Well, the last thing they should be doing right now is training talent in these conditions anyway, because they went and attempted to do that, and that's what got a whole bunch of new tests for everybody.
Yeah.
Done. So I think honestly, all the students should just be getting paid time off right now.
I think Marcho said he's like, oh well, maybe that's where WWE is going if the Amway Center when the Amway Center deal's done. But I've read when the Amway Center deal's done, they're going to a larger venue.
That's what Triple H pretty much implied on his conference calls this week.
Yeah.
Last week, I guess at this point. That when if the WWE left the Amway Center, that he thought that they would be going someplace bigger than the Amway Center. So I don't foresee Raw and SmackDown emanating from this building, but I definitely see it as the permanent home for NXT for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
I think with all the positive cases that occurred not only on the main roster but the NXT roster, I have to feel like Full Sail was like, we don't really need you guys on campus right now. You guys can come back when this all blows over, but right now y'all need to go do your own thing elsewhere. And I kind of feel like that's what happened.
Yeah. The Capitol Wrestling Center, a mixture of fans virtually in attendance, as well as NXT superstars, as well as some fans, 100 fans, roughly, from what I heard for this event, the 100 fans were mostly made up of friends and family of wrestlers, but also some fans were allowed to attend as well. But
from my understanding, you can't buy tickets to this.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a paid admission thing like AEW's doing with Daly's Place. It's basically you got to know somebody to get in, and they're tested. Any fan that's going in is getting tested on Tuesday, and they're getting the temp check on Wednesday when they go in. So, I mean, at least they're trying to take precaution, which I give them credit for.
First match of the evening was for the North American Championship, Damian Priest against Johnny Gargano. I've looking around the internets, I see a lot of people saying that this might have been Priest's best match in NXT. You think you think the same, Matt?
No, I think his match with Balor was better.
It was a good opener, though. Probably
I'm not saying the match was by any means bad.
No.
But I would definitely not say that it was his best match in NXT so far. I thought his match with Balor was his star-making performance with the company.
Yeah.
So
it was definitely a hell of a match. Great opener. Priest getting the win with the Reckoning off the ropes at about 19 minutes in to retain the title. Of course, thought maybe the married couple of the Garganos might be walking out with the gold, but that was not the case, at least for the early part of the first part of that.
I knew it was all or nothing.
Yeah.
Like I think I even tweeted it, and if I didn't, I thought it. The winner of the opener was going to telegraph to me who was going to win the women's match later on in the evening.
Yeah, and now there are rumors that they are both moving up, and for their sake, hopefully they move to SmackDown and not Raw.
I hope they don't move up at all. I hope for their sake, I hope they don't move up at all.
I don't
because
think.
Johnny is way too tiny, and we've all seen what Vince does to the tiny guys like Ricochet. So yeah, if I'm Johnny, I'm really hoping for his sake that he's not being moved off of NXT. And right now, I don't think NXT can afford to lose another male superstar right now, because while their women's division is now officially stacked with the returns of Tony Storm and Ember Moon, their men's division. Look, I love Kyle O'Reilly. You love Kyle O'Reilly. He's great. He's a great wrestler. He's a great member of the roster. But if he's the main guy they have right now to challenge Balor, and we have to see fucking Rich Holland that no one gives two fucks about ruin the ending of the show with his presence, they need some star power on the men's side on that black and gold brand right now. And they really can't afford to be taking people like Gargano away from them right
now. The next matchup was Kushida and Velveteen Dream. Probably the weakest match of the night, surprisingly. I don't know, just if the styles clashed.
I don't think it was supposed to be a match. I think it was supposed to be a fucking beatdown.
Yeah, that's what it was. Kushida basically beating the shit out of Dream, beating him with the hoverboard lock, and then beating the shit out of him some more.
And I think it was exactly what it needed to be, because the fans are not willing to forgive Velveteen Dream right now, and I think the only spot that fans wish to see him, if they are forced to see him on their TV right now, is him getting the shit beat out of him.
Yeah.
So the fans loved what Kushida did on Sunday, and I'm sure honestly they can put anybody in the NXT roster against Velveteen Dream right now and have them beat the shit out of him, and they get a babyface reaction.
Yeah.
You want to get Rich Holland over? There you go. Have him go beat up Velveteen on Wednesday.
It's going to be a special Halloween Havoc themed episode of NXT on Wednesday, October 28th. I'm all for bringing that brand from WCW back. Looks like it's going to be hosted by Shotzi Blackheart, who is a very into horror and is a horror enthusiast herself. I like the idea. I'm glad they're doing it, Matt.
Yeah, it should be fun. I always loved Halloween Havoc. I hope they go all out on the set. Like I don't want them to skimp on the set. Like Halloween Havoc was known for their incredible, stages and setups. So I really hope that they go out and give us something really cool. With that show at the end of the month.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that they will. The Cruiserweight Championship match is up next. Isaiah Swerve Scott taking on Santos Escobar, and
man, this finish pissed me off.
Yeah, the finish was a little weak, but overall the match was pretty damn good, I thought. Yeah, the finish was a little odd, but with
Swerve should have won the title, like bottom line.
Yeah.
And it really that fucking irked the hell out of me.
Basically, the end came when Scott tried to do a move. The back of his head hit the steel ring post,
but it didn't.
Yeah. Hypothetically, it hit the ring,
which made it even worse.
Escobar hits a double underhook and into a knee that hit Scott in the face for the win. But pretty damn good match there outside of the ending. Some great near falls and everything there. So I thought that was pretty well done by both gentlemen. Candice LeRae then and Io Shirai up next, as Matt said. Pretty obvious what's going to happen if Gargano didn't win. Candice did not win, and she did not as Shirai. But still a tremendous match between the ladies who had a takeover match about almost 2 years ago when Io turned heel on Candice. But that was pretty good there overall. And then, the real action happened after the match when none other than Toni Storm gets in on the screen and announces that she'll be returning to NXT. That is pretty cool. Not only that, we then go to the vignettes, the night vision vignettes that we've seen the last 2 weeks. We hypothesized Bobby Roode, Matt did. I thought Bo Dallas, and both of us were way off, as the returning superstar to NXT was none other than Ember Moon. Very exciting to see her back in NXT. Very exciting to see her back in wrestling, as the Achilles, I think she had an Achilles injury. She was out for nearly a full year and almost was thought to be career ending. So very good to see a new look Ember Moon back in NXT, isn't it, Matt?
Had we recorded later in the week, she would have been my pick. Because I think it was going to be Rude. And WWE is like, now we're bringing them back to do
pair him with Dolph.
We're bringing back to Raw, and Triple H is like, all right, we need to pivot, and then they did
pivot.
They pivoted with the video on Wednesday, and instead of the male voice, it was a female voice. And I was like, well, okay, if we're eliminating the male from the equation, Ember Moon was literally the only person I could think of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it really wasn't a surprise to me. I felt her return was extremely anticlimactic. Like, I thought it should have been more of her production. I thought they should have hit her music, played with the lights, something, maybe let her speak. It's like they didn't do anything for her return. I felt it really, unfortunately for her, I felt it really, it was really flat.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good, pretty cool reveal, but you know, it makes the women's division stronger for sure. So.
Oh no, the women's division's absolutely stronger with the likes of Ember Moon and Toni Storm coming to that division. I'm just saying, like, I expected them to roll out the red carpet a little more for her return, more so than what they did.
Main event for the NXT Championship: Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly, and might have been one of the candidates for a match of the year here with these two guys. This was just a tremendous match, and neither man came out whole here. They were beating
stiffing each other, dog.
They beat the shit out of each other, and if you believe Brian Alvarez from Wrestling Observer, they beat the shit out of each other so much that Finn decided to make the call to go home early and end the match.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that just came out either today or yesterday. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. It came out that Finn made the call in the ring to go home early. And
I did not hear about that.
This was it did go 30 minutes, so almost 30 minutes, but
yeah, it was a long ass match. Like, yeah. It wasn't short.
Yeah, that must have been. They must have probably were planning on some kickouts out of coup de grace and stuff like that. But it was a good match, though, wasn't it, Matt?
That was a great match.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it, and I felt the aftermath of it kind of really put a damper on the match overall. Like,
yeah,
it was,
yeah.
Like, I felt like the moment was ruined by them doing that.
I have not heard any updates yet. So that must mean that it is that, like, Finn's. It almost looked like Finn may have had a broken jaw. The way the blood was coming out of the mouth.
He had the real injury that everybody wants to claim Drew McIntyre has.
Yeah. But I haven't heard anything yet.
Yeah, all the injury reports for both guys have been kept relatively quiet.
Yeah.
I know Kyle has some busted up teeth. I've heard that much.
Yep, broken teeth, maybe a concussion. But yeah, nothing official yet, which is weird. So I don't know if they're saving some announcements for NXT or they just truly, are just banged up and they got out of it, As Matt is referring to, the end of the night was really random. I mean, Rich Holland is a good prospect, a good talent, but it was a weird way to end NXT, a weird way to end a takeover. Like I told Matt on Twitter when I watched it, because I was gone on Sunday, so I watched it later Sunday night. And so as soon as I saw it, I told Matt on Twitter, I go, this is how you end a Raw, not a takeover, having Ridge Holland laying out Adam Cole at the end of the night, and then Fish and O'Reilly come. My immediate thought is Fish and O'Reilly or Fish and Strong, Fish and Roddy. My immediate thought is Fish and Roddy are aligned with Ridge Strong.
Yeah, it's clear it's going to be Cole and Kyle against Roddy and Fish in the future. Like I don't know how quickly they're gonna pull the trigger on that, but that's definitely coming.
Yeah,
like, I just don't feel like a guy that's been in NXT for a cup of coffee isn't over for a shit and almost broke Johnny Gargano's neck like a month ago should be in the main event title picture of that company right now.
Yeah,
it's like what the fuck are they thinking? Like
yeah.
I'm all for creating new stars, but you create new stars with people that are over. And Over and Ridge Holland are never going to be in the same sentence together.
Yeah, WWE's very high on him. I read that from the beginning.
Yeah, and I don't see it. I don't fucking see it.
But yeah, it was a very random way to end in an NXT takeover for sure. But easily, my money's on Fish and Roddy behind aligning with Ridge Holland here.
I think it's a massive downgrade for both of them.
Yeah, I don't. Much like the New Day, I don't think the era should be broken up. But you know, all the great ones got broken up at some point.
I just fear once they split, when it's that inevitable time for those guys to be called up to the main roster, like I don't see a future for O'Reilly, Fish, and Strong on the main roster without Adam Cole, without that Undisputed Era group. You know, they were best together. And you know, and I worry. I like as long as Vince is in charge of that main roster, I don't see a good future for those guys.
No, not at all.
So I'm worried for all of them. Like splitting up the era is dangerous for all of their long-term WWE careers.
Isn't Adam Cole's contract about up too?
And we keep hearing rumors about that, but we don't have any factual information one way or another.
Thanks to everybody. Thanks to everybody that voted in our poll after Takeover went off the air. Of all the votes, we had nobody that voted C, D, or F. It was all A's and B's. 26.3% giving it a B rating, and a hefty 73.7% of the audience giving NXT Takeover an A. So
it was definitely their best takeover of the Performance Center era.
Yeah.
Like I don't even really think that should be up for debate. Like
no.
It was definitely like it still didn't feel like their typical takeover event, you know, like the ones we've gotten in years past, but it was easily the best one of like I think there's been 3 takeovers in the PC era now. Or was there 4?
I can't remember now.
Okay, regardless, it's the best. It's the best one that they've done so far. So,
some breaking news.
Breaking news
out of UWN.
Oh, who cares?
Chris Masters announced for next week.
Oh, I do like me some Chris Masters, but is anybody really watching that product? Like seriously,
I can't
if
see
you
anybody...
are, please tweet us at LITMC podcast and tell us that you're actually watching this weekly UWN stuff.
I find it hard for people to pay to watch this, you know. Ziggy Dice's mystery tag partner was Effie. A lot of people that follow the indies will know who Effie is. So he tagged with Ziggy Dice to take on Watts and Pope. And yeah, Chris Masters next week, and a huge announcement next week. So you'll hear it on the podcast next week what that huge announcement is. NXT announced just
we'll give it to you for free.
Yeah, we'll give it to you for free. No, we're gonna lock it behind Patreon that we don't have.
Maybe someday.
Recently just announced that kicking off NXT on Wednesday will be Ember Moon, and the only
good, they may finally let her speak.
And an interesting matchup also set for NXT on Wednesday as Kushida takes on Tommaso Ciampa.
Yikes!
Yeah, that's
two psycho killers going at it.
That's gonna be good. I can't wait.
I don't know who they're gonna put over there. That should be their main event. That should be the main event Wednesday night.
I would assume they put Kushida over, but because Ciampa hasn't really been in anything meaningful, like he wasn't at Takeover, so I don't know. Impact Wrestling tonight, as what we've been doing. We watch a little Impact before we record. Victory Road was this past Saturday, I think. Saturday or Sunday.
Saturday. It was on Impact Plus. It was if it's your first time signing up for Impact Plus, it's free for a month. So it was essentially a free mini pay-per-view Saturday night. Tech problems aside during the first match, afterward they got it all figured out, and it was a solid show.
Eddie Edwards took on Eric Young for the title with of course EY winning. They had a preview of the four-way tag team championship match that'll happen from Bound for Glory, one guy from each team. In what I did not watch it, but I heard was a tremendous four-way match between Carl Anderson, Ace Austin, Alex Shelley, and Josh Alexander. With Josh Alexander winning that match. Deonna Purrazzo defeated Susie to retain the Knockouts title. Tennille Dashwood defeated Jordan Grace. Impact this week leads off with Tommy Dreamer, Brian Myers. They also fought at Victory Road. They've fought a couple of times now, and this one led to a DQ thanks to Brian Myers nailing Tommy Dreamer with the kendo stick. So we're probably going a little hardcore with the next one, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's clearly where they're leading.
Of course, there's been the story Tommy Dreamer trying to instill some respect in Brian Myers since he's returned to debuted in Impact Wrestling. But I mean, hey, Matt, he's the most professional wrestler there is. So
I love Tommy Dreamer, but man, I wish he'd stop wrestling hardcore matches at his age. Like I worry about that guy, man.
God, isn't he pushing 50?
Yeah, pretty freaking close. Like the amount of like stuff that he's still putting his body through at his age, just it's not healthy, man.
Yep, 49.
Yeah, he
turns 50 next year.
Yeah, I wish he would stop. Just for the sake of I worry about our wrestlers from that era, man. Yeah. I don't want to freaking lose anybody. Like Tommy can still work. I would just prefer him to work in a non-hardcore fashion.
Yeah. Moose is still looking for that TNA World Championship.
Well,
searching the gym in the parking lot area for it, but no luck there. So Rohit, Johnny Bravo meeting up at the wedding party. He's saying the wedding's cost him a fortune. Falaba says, I know a way to get some cash. Oh, Matt, we both knew where he was going. Where can you find?
Apparently, he's the only person in Impact that has cash.
Yep. Falaba. So yeah, clearly we know what he's doing there. Rohit Raju came out. He defeated Willie Mack at Victory Road for in the Defeat Rohit challenge. So he set up another Defeat Rohit challenge, and Willie Mack came out again, and Rohit goes, "Nah, I already beat your ass." So then I hear the sirens. What? Scott Steiner's coming? Scott Steiner's answering the defeat Rohit challenge, Matt.
I had to laugh.
No, it's actually Jordan Grace. And Rohit was trying to get out of it, plays tug of war with the title with Mac, which allows Jordan to roll him up, go 1, 2, 3. So we're sitting here thinking Jordan Grace, who just got married, congratulations, by the way, was the new X Division champion.
Oh, did her and Grisham tie the knot?
Yep.
Oh, I did not know that. Congratulations, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
knew they were engaged. I didn't know they were married.
Yeah, I saw photos on Twitter over the weekend. So I think they got married over the weekend on Saturday. But oh no, Rohit says it wasn't for the title. Okay, Rohit. So then Scott D'Amore, he runs into Scott D'Amore in the back, and he says, you're given a lot of opportunities, and now I'm going to give you some opportunities, and it's going to be a scramble match against all your past challengers: Willie Mack, Jordan Grace, TJP, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel. 6-way scramble for the X Division match. And I immediately tweeted at Scott D'Amore and said, with this lineup that you're putting into this match, you could easily make a great Ultimate X match, which I know Matt agrees on.
Absolutely agree.
Come on. Look who's in this match.
Who wants to see a scramble match in 2020 anyway? Scramble matches are lame.
Look who's in this match, man.
It's a loaded match.
They all could make for a good what the hell? I'm seeing a random yoga ball on the court for the basketball game. That was random. Yeah, look at who's in this match. They could all make for a perfect mixture for an Ultimate X match. Come on. You got time to change your mind. You got what, 3 weeks, Matt? Is that right?
Yeah, definitely. Like 3 weeks away.
So Falaba, of course. We knew where he was going to get some cash. It was Hernandez, and he spilled coffee all over Hernandez, and he was going to challenge him to an arm wrestling match, and so then Hernandez went to shower. We know what's happening later. Triple XL took on the Rascals in a tag match. I think that was a rematch from Victory Road as well, with the Rascals winning. I love their finishing move. That what the hell is it? It's almost like
I'm not even quite sure what to call it.
Yeah, it's called the Hot Fire Flaybon, and
I meant like the technical term.
Yeah, well, it's like a standing moonsault by Zach Wentz. It's like he does a standing moonsault, but then Desmond Xavier, his partner, like gives him a mini pounce and pushes him onto the opponent. It's fucking cool. It's a cool ass move there for sure. Fallah Boss sneaks into the showers and steals money while Hernandez is cleaning up. Come on, Hernandez. You gotta lock that money up, man. Jimmy Jacobs went to Impact Wrestling's doctor to see how Rich Swann was doing, while we see a guy in scrubs the entire time. That we're like, that there's Eric Young, and apparently this rehab facility has the worst security in the world, don't they?
No shit.
Eric Young beat the fuck out of Rich Swann. Like, he was like throwing weights on his legs and everything. So hypothetically, Rich probably should be out for 6 months, right? But just adds to what's gonna happen, right? Because we all know it's gonna be a title change at Bound for Glory. Knockouts tag match with Rosemary and Taya against Kiera Hogan, Tasha Steelz. Very good showing from Hogan and Steelz in this one too. Almost looked like they were gonna defeat 2 former knockout champions, further cementing the fact that there should be a knockouts tag titles, because you got these 4 ladies, you got Nevaeh and Havoc. You could easily put a good knockouts tag division together. So Rosemary and Taya get the win there. Then we got the Deaners against Crazy Steve and Johnny Swinger. followed by a backstage segment where Kylie Rae goes ballistic on Kimberly, and Kylie Rae was a little surprised at how mean she got. Then Heath negotiates with Scott D'Amore on his Impact Wrestling contract. Apparently Heath wanted a little too much, Matt. But obviously they are stretching out this this whole thing with Heath getting a contract. They're really stretching it out, but
yeah, I think they're stretching it out too much.
So then Heath leaves. He's mad at Rhino. He said that he was talking about how after his great promo with Drew McIntyre, WWE offered him a new deal with a lot of money. I think that's kayfabe, Matt.
I mean, I guess it's possible. They thought enough of him to bring him back to run the segment. They might have offered him a new deal when he was there. Who knows?
Shit. But then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna sign this new contract so I can sit on my ass for 5 more years. I don't know. It's easy money, but at the same time, you kind of want to do more with your career, right?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
EC3 threw the TNA World Championship off a bridge. So are we gonna see Moose crawling through a creek next week looking for the title?
I hope not. I hope it's done.
Or is that going to be the new TNA Hardcore Championship?
Oh God.
A little blast from the past. And backstage segment with Sami Callihan and a psychotic Ken Shamrock. And the main event. Ace Austin, Madman Fulton took on the Motor City Machine Guns. Non-title match, as it's going to be a fatal 4-way match with both teams, along with the North and the Good Brothers. It broke down with the North and Good Brothers coming out, but in the end, it was the Machine Guns getting the pin there. I honestly think that there ain't the Good Brothers are going to probably win it Bound for Glory.
I would certainly think so.
But a great main event.
Look, there's no way they didn't sign them guys to big money deals.
Yeah.
And at this point, it makes sense. They're two of your biggest stars. They're drawing a lot of attention for your company. It just makes sense to put the titles on them. Yeah,
and last week's Impact was really focused on the tag division, and this one had the tag division in the main event. And they delivered with a hell of a match too. So the tag division very strong in Impact Wrestling right now. Only got stronger with the Good Brothers in a pretty entertaining episode of Impact, as Matt and I are saying. It's better than Raw. So
amen to that.
Man, I'm just baffled how night and day Raw and SmackDown are right now.
When they're running under the same creative regimes, it doesn't make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
And there's just never any continuity. Like, SmackDown was shit for a while when it was new to Fox because Vince, I think, had his fingers in it too much. And now
I would agree with that.
So now he's probably just going back to his flagship to put his fingers in, and it doesn't pay attention to SmackDown as much anymore, as my guess. I don't know for sure, but
if that's the case, it says that Bruce Pritchard can write a really good show as long as he's not having to write for Vince.
Is he still doing both?
The stuff, as far as I'm aware, yeah, he's in charge of both shows, which is why it baffles me how much better SmackDown is every Friday than Raw.
Because I heard the rumor of Shane taking over, and Pritchard's just focusing on SmackDown.
I have not heard that.
Yeah. AEW Dynamite this week kicks off kind of this is episode 52, so almost to the 1 year anniversary of Dynamite. This aired on September 30th, I believe. So yeah, so right before the anniversary on the 2nd, but of course they're going to save the anniversary celebration until the 14th, as this week is going to be the celebration of Chris Jericho's 30 years in pro wrestling. We kick things off with Darby Allin and Ricky Starks, a hell of a match with two guys that definitely can be the future of the company. They put on these guys definitely work well together. That's for damn sure. And with the coffin drop on the back of Starks, Darby Allin gets the win. Cody Rhodes makes his way out for an interview with Dasha. Talks about how his trainer Al Snow told him you'll always wrestle hurt, but not necessarily injured. And he says it's a shame when you lose the title in 3 minutes, but he got a call from Hollywood. He took the offer, and now he's back and made it look like he wasn't going to accept the dog collar match at first, but that was just to swerve you. He pulls off a very passionate speech to announce that he is going to accept the dog collar match for the TNT Championship. Brody Lee, an angry Brody Lee, comes out. The fight broken up by AEW officials and a bunch of wrestlers, and we have a big pull apart brawl. Brandy comes out and hits a senton onto the Dark Order guys. Nyla Rose is beating up on somebody, and Anna Jay went after Brandy, and chaos ensued. Normally, those are the type of things AEW saves for the end of the show, Matt.
And as much as I love the brawl, I didn't understand what Brody was so mad about. He's the one that laid out the challenge,
right?
So, like I said, the brawl was great. I really enjoyed it.
It's not like he called his mom a hoe or anything.
Yeah, I was very confused by all of that, but it is what.
That dog collar match is going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Old school. It's going to be old school fun. Somebody's going to bleed.
I think both guys are going to bleed.
Yeah.
Do ya?
FTR interviewed by Tony Schiavone, and
Poor Tony.
Tony got super kicked by Matt Jackson and a stunt foot, as Nick is still MIA. I wonder how many people noticed the stunt foot. I wonder how many people have noticed that Matt's not there, or that Nick is not there.
Yeah, I mean it's very. I'm kind of giving them a pass right now on not advancing the storyline. Just on the fact that I think it's because the fact that Nick's not there at the moment.
Yeah.
But when he gets back, like, damn, we need to advance this fucking storyline.
Yeah. Like on BTE, I'm guessing that was Nick dubbed into the.
Yeah.
They're acting like Nick was filming, and then Cutler walks in. So I'm guessing that was dubbed. Dubbed really well, though.
So easy to do.
Yeah.
It was dubbed, so easy to do.
And it was dubbed really well. It looked really good. It looked like you thought Nick was there with him, but he is not.
Yeah, hopefully he's back on Wednesday. They could advance this storyline a bit.
So the brush with greatness, the 20-minute brush with greatness, FTR SCU. Obviously they said that Scorpio is going to go on a singles path, but I think the whole point of this here was for FTR to challenge the first ever tag team title holders. So I think that was kind of the purpose here. I think Scorpio I think he'll go back to the singles push later on, and we'll resume with Kazarian and Daniels down the line. And it's kind of funny. Speaking of Daniels, he was on Impact in 60 after Impact tonight. Daniels and AJ Styles. I don't know exactly where that was from, but it was definitely old.
Those were always great matches.
Yeah.
You're always getting a great look. You knew on any given night if Styles was facing Daniels, you were getting a great match.
Yeah, and like the crowd was real torn too. It was a lot of 50-50 chance, because I watched a little of it early on as I was getting set up here. FTR gets the win thanks to a little chicanery, a little cheating from Tully Blanchard. So I thought oh, okay, the very first brush with greatness is going to go the time limit, and according to the FTR rules, you go to the time limit, they retain the titles or they get the win. But no, this went about 17 minutes with Tully grabbing the foot while Sky was getting pinned. So, but a great, tremendous match between FTR and SCU. Loved it. I believe this week is when they face Best Friends.
No, they haven't announced when they're facing Best Friends yet. And honestly, if they don't really pick up building this feud with the Bucks, the FTR might be facing Best Friends in Full Gear.
Yeah, they might be now. I just saw who they're facing this week. I'll get to that when we go to the preview of tonight's show, of Wednesday's show. I will cover that after we cover Dynamite. Isaiah Cassidy, Chris Jericho. I gotta say, props to the young kid. He hung in there with one of the greatest of all time, Matt. I was impressed with Isaiah Cassidy in this match against Jericho.
Yeah, I mean, Jericho's doing Jericho things. You know, I love that he's working with all the young talent in AEW. Like
making them look like $1 million too.
He's doing what the legend position in a wrestling company should be doing right now. And that's helping to elevate all the young stars and putting them on his level so they mean more to the average viewer. Like, oh man, this dude can hang with Chris Jericho. Like, even if they don't win, you know, Jericho's still making them look like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know, it's so freaking important.
And that was a tremendous Judas effect, wasn't it? That looked brutal.
That was sick.
That looked brutal. So Jericho gets the win.
And how cool was it that Jericho let him use the Lion Salt and the Code Breaker?
Yeah.
On him.
Yeah.
Like, who's ever got to do that to Jericho? Like, that's, to me, that says a lot about what Jericho thinks of Isaiah Cassidy.
Yeah, and he sold it. He was selling it well too. It was a tremendous match between a guy that's normally in a tag match and a veteran like Jericho. So that was a lot of fun to watch. Inner Circle beat up Cassidy after the match. Matt Hardy with a chair and Mark Quinn got in and fended them off. Jericho then sucker punches Luther because him and Luther got into it, I believe, a week prior, and again this week. So for those that don't know, Jericho and Luther, they go way back. They go about 30 years back. So,
and they actually did you see the countdown to the Dynamite this week?
I did not.
There's a really good video package with Jericho explaining like the history between him and Luther and everything, and it was very well done.
I'm sure they'll play that on Wednesday then.
I would like to hope that they do, because I mean, not like, just like you said, you watch Dynamite every week, but you didn't see the countdown YouTube video. Like, that's something that really needs to be shown to the average viewer who's not watching everything that AEW does like I do.
Yeah, and
like,
Jericho,
I'll be watching Dark later tonight.
Jericho mentioned how like Luther was more over in Japan than he was way back when, and kind of kick started a rivalry way back then with those guys. Miro and Kip Sabian planning for the bachelor party. They were at a barcade. And a very interesting cameo from Billy Mitchell. If you're not familiar with Billy Mitchell, he's the self-proclaimed world record Donkey Kong score holder, but there's been evidence of him cheating as well. So, but a very interesting cameo having Billy Mitchell show up in AEW there. That was a little interesting.
Well, they're both diehard gamers. I mean, the cameo that made sense. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And like somebody had to tell me afterwards who it was. So, and that's fine. I mean, I think it's cool. I don't have any issues with stuff like that. It's So clearly his bachelor party is going to be very video game related. I would have to believe.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what I'm looking forward to seeing what they all came up with for this. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think Mero and Sabian are working really well together. I'm a bit entertained. I was entertained by this segment a lot. I think they do pretty good. They did pretty good together. It's very entertaining. Best friends with Orange Cassidy interviewed before Orange Cassidy's match. They were right at the stage. FTR shows up and calls them backyard wrestlers and whatnot. Best friends act like they're going to punch out FTR. They flinch and best friends laugh and Cassidy goes weenies, and they leave. As
only Orange Cassidy can pull that word off and make it sound cool.
Orange Cassidy took on 10 from the Dark Order. Quick little match there with Orange Cassidy getting the win. MJF and Wardlow show up to Inner Circle's locker room. MJF congratulating Jericho on his big win against Cassidy and has gifts. He has Inner Circle personalized jackets for everybody but Sammy Guevara. Poor Sammy. I'm really interested to see where they go with this Jericho and MJF stuff.
Well, clearly MJF is trying to weasel his way into the Dark Order by getting rid of Sammy.
You mean Inner Circle?
Yes. You know what I meant. I'm distracted right now. Bear with me.
So you want me in the Inner Circle? Do you want to be in the Inner Circle? You want me in the Inner Circle? Britt Baker with Reba making her Dynamite in-ring return, taking on a lady by the name of Red Velvet, who you've seen on
great match,
who you've seen on Dark a few times. Britt Baker getting the win in about 5 minutes there. After the match, Reba hands the old black glove to Baker, and she applies the lockjaw. Eddie Kingston comes out with his arm around Bryce Remsburg, but I don't think it's a buddy-buddy relationship. But I do love the story they told of Eddie saying that him and Remsburg go back about 18 years. And but he is mad at Remsburg because he never quit. And Remsburg said, well, we may be friends outside of here. Inside of here, it's all business, and you were unresponsive, so I called the match. I thought this was a great explanation of a backstory and an explanation of what happened. So I thought that was really well done. Eddie, along with Penta and Phoenix, appeared they were going to beat up poor Remsburg, but John Moxley made the save. Eddie Kingston said that he was picking Moxley's opponent for a world title match this week, and that turned out to be the Butcher. And so Moxley and the Butcher had a nice little brutal match, but obviously we know the Butcher is not going to win the world title here. But they still had a pretty good match, and Moxley gets the win. And as we go off the air on AEW, on yet another solid show from AEW. This week on AEW, as we mentioned, of course, the TNT Championship on the line with the dog collar match, which should be phenomenal. Probably the main event. 30 years of Jericho celebration. As we mentioned, the mini feud that he's having with Luther, a longtime rival and friend outside of the ring. And so the Chaos Effect will take on the Inner Circle. Chaos Effect being Luther and Serpentico will take on Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. They'll probably do a pretty what'll probably be a tremendous retrospective of Chris Jericho's career.
I expect little clips all throughout the show.
Minus WWE highlights.
Yes. That's not happening.
The brush with greatness, the 20-minute brush with greatness, FTR is going to take on the Hybrid 2.
That's a joke.
And this can be fun. Couple of big boys for the FTW Championship. Brian Cage against Will Hobbs.
That should be really good.
Yeah. I'm excited for
Because
that
I still think a lot of people that just regularly watch Dynamite don't know much about Will Hobbs yet, and I think this is going to be a really good showcase for him.
Big Swole gonna take on Serena Deeb. And so a pretty loaded lineup there for this week. The A show, SmackDown Live, or Friday Night SmackDown. Kick things off with Roman Reigns. And said, do not call him the tribal chief until Jey Uso proclaims that he's the tribal chief. So he proclaimed to Paul Heyman to not call him that any longer until he is acknowledged by Jey.
Which I'm assuming is going to be the big gigantic stipulation of their Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
I'm assuming like the winner has to call the loser. The loser has to call the winner the tribal chief or something along those lines. So
Jey comes out, says if Jimmy didn't throw in the towel, the championship would have been Jay's right now. We laugh because Jey was getting his ass beat. Roman Reigns said he was trying to do Jey a favor by putting him in the main event, putting a payday in his pocket for his wife and kids. Reigns says he loves Jey. He loves Jey more than a brother, he loves Jey more than his brother. And Reigns said he's been there for Jey his whole life. And all he wanted to do was raise him up. And all that Jey had to do was acknowledge him as the tribal chief. Reigns said that Jey embarrassed Roman and the whole family while breaking Jey's heart. Great heel move, making it look like Jey's the bad guy now. With great points, by the way. This has been a tremendous fucking story. Probably going to be up there for WWE Feud of the Year in this COVID era. This has been probably some of the best storytelling that they've done all year.
Story-wise, I would absolutely agree.
Yeah. Reigns said that Jey can't even look him in his eye. And all he can see is that Universal title. And Reigns says, if you want another shot, it's yours at Hell in a Cell. And he said the match will have the highest stakes that any match has ever had in WWE history. Reigns gives Jey a very awkward hug, said something in his ear. I think he said something like, I love you, man. Like, very weird. Roman getting all brotherly. And Jey says, whatever the stakes are, you're on, Us. And so here we are. The rematch that we were asking for. There's a lot of times we aren't asking for rematches. We were asking for a rematch here, and we're glad it's going to happen at Hell in a Cell. It should be good. It should the lead up again. The lead up. It's been a great story, so that this lead up should be good. Very excited for it. And as Matt said, probably that is the stakes.
Honestly, that should be WWE's tagline at this point. WWE, run it back, because that's all they fucking do anymore is just run the same matches back over and over and over again. And
Raw.
I was excited. Yeah, look, I was excited about Keith Lee and Braun Strowman until they did the count out brawl afterwards, and I groaned. I'm like, oh my god, we're gonna see this 12 more times over the course of the rest of the year.
Yeah,
we all know Braun's going to Raw.
Yeah.
In the draft.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my god, like this is gonna be brutal of how much we're gonna have to like put up with this. Going forward, it's just gonna be like, oh my god.
AJ Styles comes out, says he's the one that deserves a shot, not Jey. And Jey then takes him down, and we get ourselves a match. A great little match with AJ Styles and Jimmy Uso. And how about old AJ Styles putting over Jey Uso? I'm sorry. Yeah, how about AJ putting over Jey here?
You can't hate it. And honestly, look, if Jay's going in for the title shot at Hell in a Cell, Jay needs this win.
Yeah.
He had to win.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive to see him beating AJ Styles in a one-on-one match. And a very good match at that, too. AJ probably getting moved to Raw so he can get away from Paul Heyman.
Yeah, I can't really envision them keeping him on the same show.
Yeah, and AJ says he wants to see his kids play sports, and being on Mondays is easier to do that with. So, Sami Zayn pulling a Medusa by throwing the what he calls the fake Intercontinental title in the trash. Oh. Otis took on John Morrison in a very short match. We're getting the court case next week. I don't know where this is going. If they screw Otis out of this Money in the Bank thing, I've heard. I think this is from Alvarez. I think I've heard that the plans for what they were going to do with Otis and this contract have changed many times.
Yeah, hold on. I got a tweet from WrestleVotes
Oh,
that I want to pull up today regarding this.
yeah. I like how Otis has used the Vader bomb for his finisher.
Yeah, WrestleVotes tweeted 9 hours ago. There have been multiple pitched ideas to remove the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis and to make the storyline a main focus again, some of which are really decent ideas, I've been told. However, and this is a big however, Otis's biggest fan is Vince, so right now, no go.
I'm sure it'll be an entertaining segment next week. Sheamus and Shorty G had a very short match. Kevin Owens, the KO show, sporting a Street Profits shirt. Very cool to rep the old Profits. Alexa Bliss is his guest. KO basically questioning why Alexa is, allowing herself to be under the spell of the Fiend. And we all know where this was headed, right, Matt?
Oh, yeah.
The lights go out, the Fiend with the mandible claw. It seemed like he had that claw in a very long time, too. Yeah, we all knew that was coming when he kept pressing on those questions with Alexa. 6-man tag match: Matt Riddle, Kalisto, and Grand Metalik against Corbin, Cesaro, and Shinsuke. The good guys get the win, but the Lucha House Party continues to fight. They have unveiled the lady behind the vignettes, which we all knew was Carmella, thanks to the tattoo. And Carmella saying that she's no longer here to dance around, and she's not our princess anymore, and she's untouchable unless she doesn't want to be, which I don't know what she meant by that, but okay. Sasha Banks came out for a promo, basically saying that she's going to take the title off of Bayley at Hell in a Cell.
There's no way. No, they said they're having a match next week on SmackDown.
Oh, that ain't gonna.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no way that match is happening.
No.
There's no fucking way.
That ain't gonna have a finish. We're ending this.
I don't even think the match is gonna start.
Yeah, we're ending this at Hell in a Cell. The draft begins Friday and concludes Monday. Always like draft night; those are always fun. Sometimes the shows aren't the greatest, but it's always cool to see what happens and who goes where.
Honestly, I'd rather them go back to the format where it's a SmackDown guy wrestling a Raw guy, and the winning brand gets the lottery pick on the screen. So at least that way there's no logic that has to be involved with who goes where. You don't have to be like, well, why did they pick her or why did they pick him?
Yeah.
If it's just Raw and SmackDown, they're battling. SmackDown wins, they get the random lottery pick on the screen. Like, yeah. I don't know what way they're doing it this go round, but I would prefer it to be that way, because last time they were drafting people from these brands in rounds. It was like, why the fuck are these guys taking, like, they took like Humberto in like the second rounder or some ridiculous shit on the last draft, and it just didn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
So, like, I would prefer them to to not do that. We'll see.
Big E mentioned, he wants his hands on Sheamus before they get split up in the draft, which means they're probably getting split up in the draft. So he wants a Falls Count Anywhere match, which will happen on the draft edition of SmackDown, along with Kevin Owens.
The card for Friday SmackDown is pretty stacked.
Yep, Kevin Owens and The Fiend, and it'll be The Fiend, his first match on SmackDown. The Fiend is usually just on pay-per-view. So we'll actually have The Fiend have a match on SmackDown on draft night, as well as Big E, Sheamus, Falls Count Anywhere, Sasha Bailey, which we expect is either not going to happen or be no contest. Put your money on that. Main event for the Intercontinental title, Sami Zayn, Jeff Hardy. No surprise who was going to win here, but yet still a very entertaining match with these guys. It's so good to see Sami Zayn wrestling at full speed once again. We did not get that at WrestleMania. We got it in that ladder match. We're getting it now. So it's good to see Sami Zayn back to the wrestler that we know he can be. But to no surprise, thanks to that exposed turnbuckle, Sami Zayn got the win to retain the title in, again, what was a very good SmackDown. And then Raw happened last night. There's some good parts. There's some bad parts.
It wasn't a terrible show, but it wasn't great either.
Yeah, we'll talk about the main part of the show here when we get there. But we kick things off. Randy Orton cutting a promo about what he did to the Legends last week, and Drew McIntyre barges in and beats the shit out of him before the officials break it up. Decent little segment there. 6-women tag. Asuka, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose took on Natalya, Lana, and Zelina Vega. And as I said in the open, Lana just went through another table. As the good girls got the win in a fairly quick match, about 5 minutes. And then the return of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who are now medically cleared, which is kayfabe. They were just held out due to COVID concerns. They were going to put Natalya through a table, and Lana grabbed Natalya, and then Nia Jax puts Lana through the table for like the 80th time since Miro debuted on AEW. Not a coincidence, Matt. Not a coincidence.
No, it's not at all.
R-Truth with a mock draft board with Little Jimmy going. They're splitting up Little Jimmy and R-Truth according to R-Truth's mock draft board, and the other Carmella was on there too. I thought that was funny for those that remember when Carmella and who was the other Carmella? Was it?
I don't know. R-Truth called both Mandy and Dana Brooke the other Carmella on Raw Talk last week.
Yeah, I don't know if it was might have been Charlotte, or it was somebody that you saw from behind that was blonde, and I don't know. I thought it was Carmella. I don't know. But he slips over a mop bucket, and Drew Gulak, who was dressed as a custodian. That's another funny part. R-Truth calling him Randy Orton.
You ain't getting me, Randy Orton.
R-Truth is just so fucking hilarious. It's great.
He consistently makes chicken salad and chicken chip.
Other way around, but yeah. Or no, you're right. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. MVP talking to Mustafa Ali, Apollo Crews, and Ricochet. He's still trying to recruit for the Hurt Business before the draft comes up. Ali says no. We chuckle because we know what's happening later. Apollo Crews says no. Ricochet's thinking about it, Matt.
He should have taken him on the deal.
He should have. I think he might in the end. You never know.
At least he wouldn't be jobbing all the time.
Rollins and Murphy in the ring as they face Mysterio and Humberto Carrillo. I don't think we've seen this kind of mix before, huh? Now, to be honest, though, I think
WWE, run it back.
I think there's a good future of putting Mysterio and Carrillo together as a permanent tag team. I think there's a good future there, Matt.
I think there's a lot more that they could do with Dominic than stick him in a tag team with the void of charisma that is Humberto Carrillo.
Well, they're gonna eventually run out of things to do with him and Seth. So Of course, the big thing was Rollins demanding an apology, and then Murphy saying that he should be the one that gets the apology. That's when Carrillo and Mysterio came out, tag match, and Rollins and Murphy get the win. Murphy gets the pin and then walks off.
I think the whole thing with Murphy and Rollins is just a charade to further fuck with the Mysterios.
I think so too. And Aaliyah's going to join him. So.
No, I don't think so. I think
Oh?
it'll be one. I think it'll be one of those. I never cared about you to begin with. I was just
Murphy's going to be a dick.
Fucking with you for the greater good. Type of deal.
I like that booking.
I think Murphy and Rollins are in cahoots right now. I think they're doing it just to further break apart the Mysterio family.
I like that. I like that booking actually. I like that booking. Adam Pearce talking with Braun Strowman. Braun wants a fight since there's no Raw Underground. They kind of pulled Raw Underground back out the last couple of weeks with the COVID thing. Pearce said that he is not a Raw superstar yet, but he can make
give it 4 days.
But he can make an unsanctioned match, and Braun's all right with that. And who shows up but Keith Lee? We all get excited until we realize we're going to see this 20 times, as Matt just said. The KO show with Bray Wyatt as his guest, but Bray Wyatt actually didn't show up. He just showed up in the form of a Firefly Funhouse. That's where we learn that it's going to be The Fiend and Owens in SmackDown. A lot of people guessing that Aleister Black may join a line with The Fiend. They may end up on the same show, Matt.
I don't know about all that.
And as we mentioned earlier, Braun Strowman and Keith Lee never really got going. They just did all the big spots, busted through a barricade, busted through the video wall, went off the stage, all that fun stuff. So bunch of huge bumps from those two guys in a short amount of time. R-Truth, it was like a triple threat match inside of a garbage dumpster. That's literally what happened for the 24/7 title. R-Truth got his baby back. Congrats to the 42-time 24/7 champion. Seriously, R-Truth is gonna get the title back for the 247th time, and they're gonna retire it. I think that's the end game with the 24/7 title. He's gonna retire. He's got a long way to go to get to 247, but that's my guess.
Oh my God.
6-man tag, Cruz, Ricochet, or actually not 6-man tag, regular tag, Cruz and Ricochet with Mustafa Ali at ringside taking on the Hurt Business, Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, with the Hurt Business getting the win there. More Aaliyah and Murphy talking. More of the Hurt Business trash talking Ali, and Ali standing. Boy, Ali's pretty confident there by himself against the Hurt Business, isn't he, Matt? Wonder why. That leads to Ali and MVP later on in the night. Then we got the whole Rollins and Murphy fallout, where Murphy started beating the shit out of Rollins with the kendo stick, and then Rollins begging for mercy, but then ends up turning and eye gouging Murphy, and then Aaliyah comes out, and then the Mysterios come out, and all that stuff. Aaliyah saving Murphy. Poor naive woman, huh?
Yep. That's my opinion, anyway.
The the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship matchup next. Now that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are on television, they faced the Riot Squad. Brutal match, as they pretty much decimated Ruby Riot. Baszler did pretty brutally and decisively as they get the win there. Mustafa Ali took on MVP. MVP was getting beat up, so he just said, screw it. Lashley, Benjamin, get in the ring with me. And so they were getting ready to beat down Ali when the lights start flickering. Retribution shows up, and MVP asks Ali, "Are you with him?" Ali acts like he is with him, but so then it looks like Ali is aligning with the Hurt Business to attack Retribution. When Ali gets out of the ring, faces T-Bar and Mace. Isn't that Mace? Is that who what's Dio is?
Yeah, I think that's Mace. Slapdick is Shane Thorne.
Slapdick and Teabag. And MVP used Matt's name for T-Bar. MVP called him Teabag on Raw. I'm sure Matt popped hard for that one, didn't he?
Oh, I'm stressing out over here, JB.
Yeah, I see the Lakers are up 5 on mine. I'm behind you.
Yeah,
probably.
They're up by 5 over here, but I'm too close for comfort right now, man.
You definitely popped when MVP called him Teabag, though.
Dude, I like the Hurt Business, man.
I do too.
I think it's the best thing Raw has had as far as storylines throughout this era. You know, I mean, they're doing great stories on SmackDown, but I think overall, if you're looking for a good story on Raw, it's been the Hurt Business.
It's rejuvenated MVP's career. It's rejuvenated Shelton Benjamin. It's reinvigorated Bobby Lashley. It will rejuvenate.
I think Cedric's got the COVID or something.
Yeah,
for him to be off TV the last 2 weeks. I think there's a reason. I think there's a reason for that.
Eventually, when Cedric comes back, it'll rejuvenate him. I would really like to see Ricochet join the group before the draft, so then he's kind of protected. That stays with the Hurt Business. I would not hate, but it almost seems like the Hurt Business might be going face now with Retribution.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really what side are you on type of deal.
So it could easily have Ricochet join them, and they could be a face group, a group of 5. And I just said a group of 5, Matt. You know what's coming up in November? Survivor Series. Yeah. Are we going to get Hurt Business and Retribution at Survivor Series?
I mean, it's possible.
I'll tell you what, though.
Because I don't think WWE as a brand give a damn enough about about Retribution right now to form a team to go up against them.
I'll tell you this right now, though. Ali revealed as the leader is the best thing that's happened to Retribution so far.
I think it's an anchor. I know Ali hasn't had the best luck in pushes in WWE right now, but I really don't think this is a good long-term investment for his character right now.
I mean, sure, we don't like the group, but they're heavily prominently featured, and he's the leader of it. So it is a big thing for Ali. And, you know, so it could be, it could be what saves Retribution, to be honest, depending on where it goes. So. Then we get the main event. Drew McIntyre's Street Profits took on Randy Orton, Ziggler, and Rude. Really odd ending. It was Orton hits an RKO on McIntyre, and then they go off the air. It was like, I don't know if they were running out of time or what, but it was just an odd, abrupt ending to Raw. But hey, that's par for the course for this show. But hey, it was a better show than last week. It was a better show than last week. So Matt's clapping. They must have made a basket here. I'm behind Matt, so there we go. Lakers up 7 now, 2 minutes to go. They have
so freaking out, man.
The Rock has revealed the cast for NBC's Young Rock, which will a new show coming out here soon. Bradley Constant is going to be playing Young Rock. Stacey Leilua is playing Ada Johnson, Rock's mother. Joseph Lee Anderson playing Rocky Johnson. Yuli Latukifu is playing 20-year-old Dwayne Johnson. So there's multiple versions of Dwayne Johnson in this show. There's even a 10-year-old version of Dwayne Johnson. So it's going to be interesting. 11 episode first season. It is slated to be a mid-season debut. So I'm not sure when it's going to debut. If mid-season debut tells me maybe this January, or is it next year? I don't know. With COVID, I don't really even know what's going on.
Dude, who knows? Like, there's no new TV really set up.
Yeah.
For the year now, with just like nobody had time to film anything.
Breaking news.
Like, I don't really think we're getting a whole lot of a TV this fall as far as new show seasons and whatnot. No, what are you doing? God.
Breaking news, but it appears to be storyline for NXT injuries. WWE has announced that Velveteen Dream has suffered a fractured wrist against Kushida. Adam Cole suffered broken ribs and contusions. So obviously the injury updates we wanted to know, we do not get. So
yeah, that sounds a little story to me.
John Cena appeared on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon as he has started to finally bring guests back in with COVID. Discuss all his John's projects, including Fast and Furious. When they did bring up the WWE, Cena said he's not done being an in-ring performer, but obviously inactive. But he's not been in the ring for the last time. He will be back, he says. But
I think he's gonna do the Undertaker thing. I think we're gonna see him for like WrestleMania every year.
Yeah, because
doing some kind of program there, then disappearing for a year.
I mean, he's about to get busy. Like he's starring in the spinoff Suicide Squad spinoff that's going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah, Peacemaker.
He is going to be the lead actor in the Fast and the Furious franchise now. It's going to be like Rock.
Wait, he's taking over Vin Diesel's role?
Well, he's going to have like one of the prominent roles, or one of the main roles. So
yeah, but I mean, how many more Fast and Furious movies can they really do at this point?
21.
And look, is that a joke, or have they said that?
No, it could be real. I'm just joking, but but it could be real.
No, but like, I love the Fast and the Furious movies. I absolutely adore them, and I can't wait for the 9th one just because Han's back, and I want to know how the fuck Han. Oh, that was the dagger. That was the dagger. Anthony Davis. Right there. That's right. That's right. But yes, speaking of Fast 9, I want to see how Han is alive. Dude should be dead, but he ain't. So I'm excited to see that. It's kind of weird that John Cena's playing Vin Diesel's brother. That should be interesting. But dude, I think we're about to go 3-1. Is it Lakers in 5, like the entire playoffs? Is it Lakers in 5, JB? Tell me it's Lakers in 5.
Yeah, maybe.
No, I need to hear you say it. I need to hear you say Lakers in 5.
Give it to me. It wasn't a dominating win, so I can't exactly say they're going to come out and...
Yeah, but I mean, neither Anthony Davis or LeBron really played like a superhero level game either, and they're still looking like they're about to win. They're up by 9 with 39 seconds left.
Hey, yo.
So come on, come on, JB, give it to me. Give me a Lakers in 5. Give it to me. Come on. Come on, buddy.
I'm not committing to it. To it.
Make me happy. You make me really happy if you say it.
I can't commit to it.
Marcho is going to be so mad at you that you wouldn't say Lakers in 5. He's going to be so mad at you. He's going to come at you. I know he will. You can tell him to shut up. Oh, Dan Marcho, he just told you to shut up. You better go at him hard. Shut up!
There.
Okay, that's fine. We're still up 7.
Some sad news out of NXT. Unfortunately, for the 3rd time in her career, Tegan Nox has torn her ACL.
Yeah, good Lord, man.
Yeah, unfortunate, but hopefully she can push through once more and return. She's a hell of a talent, still very young. So, wish the best for Tegan, and in her recovery from a third torn ACL.
Vipers in 5.
Jeff Hardy's scheduled a court appearance in Moore County Court in North Carolina has been pushed back. It was supposed to be on September 30th. It has been pushed back to October 22nd now due to court closures from the pandemic. He was arrested just over a year ago, October 3rd of last year, careless driving and whatnot. Pretty sad thing there. Failed a sobriety test, and so that's getting pushed back a few more weeks. The Rock announced that the XFL will return in 2022, so not the new year here, but a year from now. Obviously, smart with COVID still not going away because people are idiots. XFL now is going to kick off in 2022.
Yeah, don't kick it off till you're ready. Don't freaking rush into anything right now. Do it right.
Billy Corgan gave yet another update on the status of NWA. His message on Instagram was as follows: 1 year ago, we shot our first episode of NWA Power. Suffice to say, it's been a crazy ride ever since, from trending #1 worldwide on our debut to successful pay-per-views to having to stop many plans due to the plague to Rosa appearing with the NWA Women's Championship on All Elite Wrestling to now adding our voice to the collective that is Primetime Live on the United Wrestling Network. I can only say to our fans, to our great fans, hang in there. We are currently talking about bringing back Power very soon, even if it means we can't have fans in the stands, because we just want to get back to work. It's been nice to see our friend and former champion Tim Storm here. If anyone can lead us out of this, it's a man or woman like him who gives it all he or she's got when the chips are down. This sounds more grim than I mean, because, but we're still here, still kicking, getting ready to rock. So good news, Matt. Sounds like they may start filming Power with no crowd, at least, but it'll be good to get Power back.
Look, I know they said they didn't want to do it, but I mean, this has been going on for so long at this point. Like, they need to do something. They need to get back. They need to get back in the eyes of the fans.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, and they're going to have a lot of work to do to get back the momentum they had. I mean, they had a lot of momentum, but now it's kind of gone. So.
Yeah, their momentum's non-existent right now. I mean, the only presence really, if anybody feeling in the NWA right now, is what Thunder Rosa's doing in AEW. Because, like I said, I really truly believe no one's watching that UWN stuff. Like, I don't believe it.
No, because I don't think anybody's going to pay. It's like TNA back in the day. How many people really paid $10 a month to watch that? Maybe
that was a week. That was $10 a week,
or $10 a week. Oh, that's what this is $7 a week. So
yeah, but look, back in the day when people were desperate for more wrestling on their televisions, and NWA and TNA presented that option with a really great roster.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Me and my friends got together every week. We'd all pitch in $2. We'd order some pizza. And, we'd watch the show at my friend's house every week, so there was a need, at that time, there was hardly any wrestling on TV at all. You had Raw and you had SmackDown, and that was it.
Yeah.
So, now you've got Raw, you got SmackDown, you got NXT, you have AEW, you have Impact, you have MLW, you have Ring of Honor. I mean, there's so many wrestling products out there right now that you can watch for free. I don't understand why anybody's going to be paying for this product right now. I just don't.
And just like last week when we ran down the card, it's all UWN. It's like maybe one match including NWA wrestlers. So it's not like, it's it's only known to people in the indies that watch indie wrestling like with a passion and know every promotion.
And look, I'm happy for all the indie talent that's getting a payday right now because they all desperately need it. But just because they desperately need the payday doesn't mean I want to watch them right now either. If I want to watch independent talent that I don't know, I will watch AEW Dark every Tuesday, which I do.
Mm-hmm.
I will be watching it actually right after we're done recording. I'll load up AEW Dark and watch it on my laptop while I'm watching Lakers post game stuff on the TV. So,
what was Jared Briscoe's big announcement? Did you catch that at all?
It's been one gimmick thing after another. If you wait until next week to hear what he's gonna say, like I'm already to the point where I just don't fucking care.
There has been a 4 Horsemen trademark filed by Arn Anderson.
And let me just say this. Ric Flair, you are a dumb motherfucker to have not trademarked the 4 Horsemen after all these fucking years. You are a dumb man. Yes. Woo, you can woo all you want. Doesn't change the fact that you dumb.
Ratings for this week, both see increases. AEW 866, while NXT 732. In that ever important 18 to 49 demo, AEW 0.338 and NXT 0.19. SmackDown continued to stay steady, a hair over 2 million, 2.04 million. A slight increase of 11,000 from the week before. Monday Night Raw faced 2 Monday night games and did not fare well. They dropped down about 150,000 viewers to 1.68 million. This ain't good, but it has been announced a report from WrestlingInc.com that WWE is going to be taking over talent Twitch accounts starting next month.
If I'm on those WWE talents, I'm like fucking make me.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
I loved Paige's tweet earlier this week.
I missed it.
She's like, I've learned a lot about unionizing today, or something along those lines.
I did see that tweet.
And I was just like, fuck yeah, Paige. Don't be taking that shit.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's fucking garbage. WWE should be ashamed of themselves. Not only do they want to take over these people's Twitch's account, they only want to give the wrestlers a portion of the money that they make off of it, and they want it to count against their downside guarantee. Like, fuck you.
It was a stupid idea from bad creative.
It was a stupid idea from an old senile man that freaking needs to retire.
Shut up!
Yeah, you shut the fuck up, man.
The trial of the Randy Orton's tattoo artist.
Speaking of fucking stupid.
Against I don't even know who it's against. Is it against 2K or is it against Ukes? I guess it's against both. I don't know. It's been pushed back to the trial's been pushed back to February 16th now because of COVID.
Look, maybe you can educate me and maybe help me understand this because I don't have a tattoo. Okay, I've never had a tattoo. I never will have a tattoo. It's just not my thing to have hot ink burned against my flesh. But if I get something tattooed on my body, how in the hell can you tell me that I can't use it in a fucking video game?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like this makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure this artist is going to be burning their money because I don't think they're going to win. But
I'm shocked it's gone this far.
Kenny Omega doing a recent interview talking about the potential AEW video game.
I'm hyped, brother.
Hopefully Ukes is involved in that.
I don't think they are.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who's, honest to God, I don't know who's involved. I feel like if Ukes was involved, I'd know about it. due to my tie-ins and connections within the industry.
Yeah.
I feel like if Ukes was involved, I would know. I think Ukes is working on a wrestling game of some sorts, but I would have to assume it's for New Japan. Because I have not heard anything regarding a deal with AEW and Ukes. The last I heard was that AEW and Ukes talked, and like this was several months ago, and AEW presented Ukes with a figure of what they were willing to pay, and Ukes pretty much laughed them off. So apparently, like they're looking for Ukes is looking for a very big number to make another wrestling game for a company, and apparently what AEW is offering, which I heard was in the 1 million range, is not sufficient enough for Ukes to make their game. So take that for what it's worth. I heard that maybe like 5 or 6 months ago. So like we know the game's in development because Kenny Omega ain't fucking lying. Like so the game's being worked on, but the question is who's working on it, and that is the $1 million question right now that we don't know.
Yeah.
In a dream scenario, they got a bunch of people together that used to work on the Aki engine, and they're doing it in house. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I don't know. I know Aubrey Edwards is working very closely with the game. I know Kenny's working very closely with the game, and I know they had serious interest in the Aki engine for a while. So if they could have secured some of the game designers that worked on the Aki engine back in the day, or even the Day of Reckoning engine from the GameCube, which was very much a playoff of the Aki engine, we could be getting something really special. But I don't know. I feel like we're probably a ways away until we see any type of like footage or screenshots or anything from this game. We probably won't see anything until next year. I would love to be wrong on that, but I don't think I am.
And when's Retromania Wrestling? Does that come out this month?
It's coming out this year. They have not nailed down an actual date yet.
What system did you get yours on?
I have not pre-ordered it yet, believe it or not.
I
don't really wish to pre-order it until we have a solid date.
Yeah.
I think I'm going Xbox.
I went Switch.
Yeah, I
just don't use my Xbox anymore. So
I mean, really, the only thing I play on my Switch is Animal Crossing. And so I mean, I guess it would give me something to play on Switch. But I also feel like if I get it on Xbox and I love it enough, I might buy it on Switch too.
Yeah.
So I mean, Xbox is my main console. That's where I game. If I'm gonna game on a console, I'm gaming on the box. So I feel like that's where I'll end up getting it. But I would also be inclined, if I really love it, that maybe I'll grab it for the Switch and have something to play on the go.
I think it's eventually coming out on PS4 too, but
I think it's coming for everything, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I have to look back on it. Speaking of John Cena and Fast and Furious, it has been pushed back again. It'll now be released in May of 2021 because theaters are closing up again because they're not getting any business.
Yeah, I've heard Regal shut down for the rest of the year after the Bond movie got delayed.
We have
we out.
Yeah.
And there's rumors now that Wonder Woman 84 is just gonna pop right to streaming, which I would be all for because I need my superhero movies pretty bad.
I know that they kept pushing that back because they don't want to have it go to streaming.
Yeah.
We have Marcus theaters around here, and they closed up everything, but the downtown theater is still open though, so they've got one theater open.
I wouldn't look. I love going to the movies, and I've always loved going to the movies. I love going opening weekend to a new superhero movie and just enjoying the shit out of it. But Like, even if they opened one right now, like if Black Widow opened this weekend, I wouldn't go to the movie. I wouldn't go.
Yeah.
Like, it's not fucking safe. And you got to be fucking smart right now. And there's so many people out there that aren't being smart, which is depressing. But what can you do?
The best of NXT in Progress Wrestling has been added to the WWE Network, so you can see matches such as Adam Cole against Mark Haskins from 2013, Prince Devitt, aka Finn Balor, taking on Zack Sabre Jr. in 2014, Tommaso Ciampa taking on Big Damo, who's Killian Dane. That was in 2015. You got a Gargano match against Mark Haskins in 2016. Tegan Nox, known as Nixon Newell back then, taking on Jenny in 2017, Kyle O'Reilly in 2019. So you can see a bunch of current NXT superstars in some matches that were as old as 7 years old. So pretty cool there. Pretty cool addition. It has been announced another furloughed producer has been returned to the company. Been out of work since April, but Scott Armstrong is now back working with WWE as producer. He worked NXT Takeover on Sunday.
On Jamie Noble on Monday too.
Yep. Some interesting news here. Former WWE producer and former Impact Wrestling star Sarah Stock arrested Sunday in Evansville, Indiana, charged with aggravated battery, resisting law enforcement, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication.
Yeah, that don't sound good.
No, she sounds crazy. She was released last month after spending several months on furlough from the WWE. Of course, she was known as Sarita, tagging with Zelina Vega, back then known as Thea Trinidad, back in the Impact Wrestling days. It has been announced that the one of the better reality shows on TV, Ms. and Mrs., is going to be returning next month, November 12th. It's weird to say next month and November in the same sentence, but that is true. Next November 12th at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern will be the return of Ms. and Mrs.
Best reality show on TV. Not even close.
Bayley crossing a milestone. Her 2 title reigns with the SmackDown title have now crossed 500 days. And in her tweet, she put 500 days as your SmackDown Women's Champion. Suck it, Michael Cole. Hilarious.
I mean, that's an impressive combined reign, man.
For 2 reigns?
To think all of her reigns have surpassed over 500 days of that title. It's crazy.
An interesting corporate move. WWE elects Erica Nardini to the board of directors. She was formerly the CEO of Barstool Sports, and now
this is a weird move.
Yeah. Some sad news, probably due to the COVID, but unfortunately, Netflix has reversed course and canceled Glow. It will not resume production for its 4th season.
Netflix commented to, I think it was the Hollywood Reporter, and they said it was the decision to cancel the show was COVID related because of the nature of the show.
Yeah.
The very close physical acting that the cast had to do.
Yeah.
Is the reason they decided to cancel. It sucks, but I mean, look, no one's saying that they couldn't eventually, maybe bring it back once everything blows over. But like, I get why they did it. It sucks that it was revealed afterwards that Taya Valkyrie was going to be a part of the 4th season.
Yep.
And she did some work for the season already before all the shutdowns happened. So that really sucks for her.
Yeah, on Monday, Ring of Honor's Twitter account, they released a vignette on EC3. His debut coming very soon.
You've been warned.
Warner Brothers has removed Black Adam from its planned December 2021 release date as they shift a number of films due to COVID.
Which makes sense. They haven't had a chance to start filming the damn thing yet.
Yeah. So everything's been pushed back in production there. Alpha Opco, a subsidiary of Alpha, took over ownership of all registered and pending trademarks and patents and website registrations that were previously owned by Alpha Entertainment. Basically, Rock's company taking over all of the IPs for the XFL.
They paid for it. Makes sense.
Yep. Angel Garza noted on his YouTube channel he has a slight tear of his left quad. Expects to be back in about a month or so. Riddick Moss announced he'd been working with a torn ACL the whole time, doing all the Raw Underground stuff, which is insane. WWE files for 6 new trademarks, including Kaylee Ray, A-Kid, Amali, Amir Jordan, and Aofi Valkyrie. Basically, I think most of those are basically related to NXT UK. And well, it's a good time to get things cleaned up when your tag partner is going to be out for over a year. So Eric from the Viking Raiders decided to go under the knife as well and fix some things that have been going on in his arm. Might as well, right, Matt?
Yeah. Take care of it when you have the chance.
Yeah. So that's going to do it for this edition of Lost in the Midcard. I'd like to thank SpiderDuck.net for being our host, enabling us to be on iTunes, Spotify, and any of your favorite podcasting apps. All you got to do is search for Lost in the Midcard. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know every time a new episode comes your way every Wednesday. And we're also on the YouTube. If you normally listen to us on the podcast, head to our YouTube channel. Give us a subscribe there so we can up our numbers there. We're looking to try to get a personalized website address there for YouTube. So it'd be great if you could help us out there. But in the meantime, if you go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Lost in the Midcard, or Twitter at LITMC Podcast, go to the pinned tweets there. You can head to our YouTube page and check out the video version of the podcast. I am on the Twitter at JB Huskers. Matt is on the Twitter at Raw of Showtime. And before we ride off into that sunset, Matt, what are your final thoughts?
Something very important to say. You know what I'm going to say?
I know what you're going to say.
Say it.
You're going to say Lakers in 5.
Lakers in 5. It's the sound of the Miami Heat falling on Friday night.
Well,
a rare 2 days rest, which means Anthony Davis and LeBron will come in even better on Friday.
Yeah, they don't play it on Friday.
Yep.
Well, it was a good wrestling week. Raw was better. Takeover was great. SmackDown was good.
And I'm sure AEW is going to be awesome tomorrow night.
So wrestling's been pretty good lately, so that's good. We didn't mention this on the show, but Florida lifting all its restrictions now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah.
Well, and I implore WWE and AEW to continue to exercise great restraint and caution in the months ahead.
Yeah. That's going to do it for Lost in Midcard. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back at you next week.